Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, it's a Sunday morning and it happens to be the 1st of December 2024. My goodness, hasn't the year gone fast? Very fast. Yes, it's a bright sunshiny morning outside with some blue sky, but I can see some clouds in the distance. I only just looked, by the way, too. I have been up for a little while. I haven't slept in this morning, but I did have my hands in dishes for the moment. Yeah, very grey skies. And I think the neighbours had parties last night. Well, I know of one that had kept noise going for a while. But that's all good. It means there's people around and we're alive. I'm Ros Boundy, Psychic Medium, bringing you the Daily Lenormand card spread reading. Although today, I don't know if I want to do Lenormand or Kipper. Let's go and have a look at the cards because I have actually got the Sirens song still. Let's go across to them. So I haven't even divvied them up yet. So I wanted to show you the box, the Siren song, Divining the Depths with Lenormand and Kipper. Now, I was wondering if probably we might shuffle them together. I don't know. Don't know if that's a good idea or not. So here we go. That's the guidebook which I'll probably use. Now here it is, the Lenormand and the Kipper. Which one do I choose? I'm just going to have a quick look to see if there's anyone who has joined me yet on this beautiful Sunday morning. You're probably all sleeping in like most sensible people do if they don't have to work. Or you might be already at work. I don't know. It's lovely to just join you with this technology. Anyway, let's go for the Kipper deck, shall we? We'll do that one. So that's this one. We'll put that aside and I'll just shuffle quickly. I should have done this earlier. I'm just going to move this over here so I don't have to. As you can see, I keep my cards out and ready on the go for those calls that you might make through the seeasstars.com. And also for any other impromptu readings that I do. They are my favourite go-to. Or I do use the other contained in here is the tea leaf reading card set. I've got 2 of those. So I have 2 options available at all times. Well, actually it's 3 because I do keep my Labyrinth Through Time kit together as well on the table. So, there's all means and ways, isn't there? Now, just clear and cleanse. Now these are the cards for the day. I'm just putting the energy of the day into the cards now, and we shall lay down 3 cards. 1 in the middle, 2 and 3. Wow. Okay, I'm putting them in the same type of a spread as I usually use every day, okay? Now from there you can tell, I'll put that over there, and I'll use, I am wondering whether I do a 6 card spread. We've got time for that this morning, don't we? Why don't I? So I'm going to get the Lenormand deck out and see what that marries up. How it marries up. We might get a very interesting reading. Okay, put that aside. I'll shuffle these quickly. It's very interesting how we can step into our day and be completely on automatic. I'm bringing this over here so that I'm facing you instead of shuffling on the side. And, we're stepping into our days and just not really thinking about what we do. The way that I do this, I just cleared them and now it's doing the shuffling for the cards for the day using the Lenormand. How quickly and easily we just step into the day on autopilot almost without thinking of it. And I really feel that the way that I've continued and persisted with doing this is it does bring in for me some focus for the day that's not auto. It's not automatic. I'm just going to have to shift that up. That we are able to put some thought into how we move through our day. That we can at least start with some level of focus and potentially gain some clarity as we're moving along. So here we've got the Lenormand, and I'll put this up here so that we've got the Kipper. Okay, so we know which one's what. I mean, we'd know that from the type of cards they are anyway. There we go. Now, doesn't that make a pretty picture? That's not too bad at all. It's going to take a little while to read through them because I am going to use the guidebook for this particular deck of cards, that this particular, the Siren's Song, because it is with a theme of the nautical. And what we move through with that, it's relevant to the mermaids that would be in the old nautical days was called the sirens. Now, from this book, what the description has come to is, let's have a look. I'm actually going to read from the, here we have the welcome section, welcome aboard, because it is a nautical. It's sometimes really nice to actually have that is a deeper explanation of what we're delving into. So, welcome aboard. In 2017, now that is 7 years ago now, isn't it? Yes. Quick maths. Carrie Paris released the Siren Song Lenormand, a dreamy deck of cards anchored in a deep sea theme. This is a fantastical world inhabited by iridescent characters who lent their magic, myth, and tentacles to every reading. Tony Savory, a well-known author of Kipper cards, invited Carrie to dive once more into her sea cave to create a Kipper deck as eternal as the Siren's Song. So Carrie and Tony dreamed of one day combining both decks into a single treasure chest, because at their core these two card decks are kindred divinatory tools. So both the Kipper and Lenormand cards long to tell the reader a detailed, no barnacle unturned story in which the querent is always the main character. Now, in the terms of the card reading, the querent is you. You're asking that question of the cards. So it's you who is the main character of this. You can't place anyone else into it. You can ask different questions, but you are the character. Okay, the potential for discovery is enormous. So the situational information that can be gleaned from the placement and interactions of these cards is remarkably accurate and abundant. The Petit Lenormand can serve as a gateway to the Kipper. A foundational study of this system of symbols prepares the voyager, it's spelt differently. Sorry, that's my proofreading coming in, and lights a path to the meticulous inroads of the Kipper. Learn these two systems well, dear diviner, and you'll never need a day job. So I really just love exploring new cards, yes, but you get to a point where you can have too many. This together is probably a very concise and wonderful way of doing any type of reading, which it is. As much as I do like the tea leaf reading card system too. There's so many different things you can go into. But within these first pages, the sirens will guide you through the tides of the Petit Lenormand deck, and where you'll discover each card's unique role, energy, and a few future tips for your own eventual explorations into Grand Tableau readings. We're not doing those here. Then as your deep dive continues, you'll discover the titanic possibilities of the ancient Kipper deck. So the Kipper deck is quite an old deck as well. Predictive, situational, and reliable during still or rough seas, the Kipper is the ideal for a seasoned navigator. We'll finish with a selection of recommended spreads for reading both card systems, as well as 3 examples of the Grand Tableau. One for the Lenormand, one for the Kipper, and finally our unique spread for combining the Lenormand and Kipper into one Grand Tableau. Oh, I'm going to try that one day. As we teach you how to tune into the unique voice of these 72 cards, we will mesmerise you with dreamy imagery and regale you with a salty narrative of the siren's lure. At last, dear diviner, the winds are calm and the sea is high. Let's heave away and steer straight into the heart and the soul of this new and combined Siren's Song. I love that. It's really quite lovely introduction to the book, isn't it? So the Lenormand deck is described in the front half, then there's the Kipper, and there is the spread examples. I've just used something I've made up, doing the 2 rows of 3. It doesn't matter. And here, I love that, a nice old looking newspaper or magazine about the cards, fortune telling cards. They were very popular at one point in time. Here's an example of a Grand Tableau. It is all cards laid out on the table. And I like the look at that. Nice octopus. Tentacles. Yeah, it's a lovely deck. I'm going to explore it a little more, I feel. in depth. Maybe we're in the depths of the sea and the oceans, aren't we? Right, now I can probably zoom in. Let me just zoom out a bit so that those who are potentially watching on Instagram can see these in its fullness, the way I've got this spread. So I'm just going to wait for the time lapse, because there is always a time lapse, and see if it comes up on the screen in the time lapse. I don't think Instagram's being very friendly. Let me go down to an itty bitty because it's not showing up on my monitoring screen for the Instagram as coming into play, where all of there, that's a bit better. So I'll leave it there for the second. There it is. Now we're going to go into just the cards in a way that we can see the 3 in a row. Now I'm going to read the Lenormand ones first, because they are the base energy for this one, I think. Even though I dealt out the Kipper first, what we have is the Lenormand as the bottom row. Consider that to be the base energy for what we're going to be reading in these today, and then we'll pair them, one above after we've read this row, then this row, and then we'll see what it comes up with the pairing of the Lenormand and then the Kipper up there. Okay, let's see if we can do this. It's going to take a little time, but I've got time. Have you? You can fast forward it if you want to. Right. Now, because I laid them like that, I'm just going to see what the 3 card spread energies actually are in this one. Now, I did do a reading yesterday or the day before that this was chosen as the card. So that's probably why I've got them out. They were kept. I left them on the table to do a second part of her reading the next day. And, I'll use these for what we've got here. So for her reading, this is what we're going to use it as. So the practice, this is a practice of basic sentence, Lenormand. So you have the subject, you have the verb, and you have the object. So it's pretty much, instead of the way that we were doing them before, as far as I've been reading them as the main theme for the day, home space and workspace. This is the subject, so what we're talking about in the main context. Then it goes to, what is a verb? I've got to sort of remember. A descriptive. A verb is that continues on to what is the outcome. So it gives a descriptive of what the outcome is going to be, because that's what the object is. It's what eventually is going to be the outcome. I think that's what it says. Let's have a look now. So it's card 1. So this is what happens. Then card 2, happens, and finally happens. I think I read the wrong line there. No, it is. I'm supposed to turn them over from being face down, but we don't have time for that. I don't mind having them all in the row open at one time. So you pose your question, and the 3 cards could represent a question that represents a past, present, or future, or obstacle, course of action, and solution. So it could be that this is what's the main theme for the day, what might happen within, and the outcome within the day, right? Overall start, what might happen, and the outcome by the end of the day. Let's consider it that. Okay, this is card number 3, the ship in our Lenormand. Now that is about holidays and spending long times away and that type of thing in what I've been interpreting over the years. This here could be quite different because, and I had noticed that. So it's why I'm reading it from the guidebook, because energies, cards, when they are designed with particular artworks and things like that, and the themes, they usually have an energy of the theme within it embedded. So the interpretations are meant to be used as per the guidebook for some decks. And it's a good idea to still read them, even though I don't use the guide decks much at all. Look, let me qualify that. I have read them through once, at least all the guidebooks I've used, but whether the memory retains them or not doesn't matter. I take what is the depiction on the cards to give me the guidance. That's my usual way of working with the cards. It is the intuition and the spirit guide connection type of a factor. So what we're seeing here, I'll read the guidebook one because I haven't read all through this one at all yet. And the key words for ship here is commerce, trade and movement. So movement is, for me, that's holidays and getting away. I imagine doing a wonderful, these types of old ships. I don't know how many are still left in the world doing holiday type trips using sail. I have no idea. It would be a dream of mine to go on a long holiday sailing the seas with the wind based. Whether it happens or not, you can see my colour in my hair and all the rest. Anyway, I digress. What we've got is commerce, trade, movement as the key words. Ship sails through the expansive ocean with impressive momentum, promising great wealth, trade or inheritance. Its movement sympathetically generates waves of abundance and bounty that will break at our siren's feet. So when ship touches the siren card, remembering the siren card in this is the one that you choose as being you in a grand tableau. So these descriptions are all based around a grand tableau description and the distance from the you card, the siren card in that layout. Okay, so we can ignore it sort of, but I like the descriptions. So when the ship touches the siren card, it takes on an alternate meaning of travel or an adventure. So because I'm not using that siren card in these spreads here, these short ones we're using, it's just going to mean what I feel instinctively for this reading today. And I do feel it's about travel and being taken abroad, being taken where you want for your dreams come true. Travel is what I'm feeling. So if you aren't able to travel or anything like that, this is where I think you can, there are alternatives with astral travel, and that is the esoteric. So I'll put that in there because I believe the possibilities are so immense in where you can travel without even moving from your seat. And here we have a very giant squid or octopus or some sort of a sea creature that is helping us along that way. Okay, so that's what we're starting with. And I will, between each card, as I shift, I'm going to read the comments. Okay, check the comments. And we have Jamie's Cowboys from YouTube. Hello, and how are you? It's great to see you here. I hope you're enjoying your Saturday night or Sunday morning, because it depends where you are in the world, isn't it? There's two options. You're either last night or this morning here in our part of the globe. I am in Australia, South Australia to be more exact. Okay, and good morning, Shaz. Hi, how are you, Sharon? And you're off to Strathalbyn. You're in Strathalbyn anyway. You're off to the Strathalbyn duck race. I didn't know it was on today. Have a wonderful time. You probably don't have time to watch this, but it's lovely that you've made the time to say hello. So hello. And good morning, of course. Hope your duck wins. Anyway, now that we've gone through the comments, and hey Roz from Design Studio by Shell, and that's Michelle. How are you this morning? I hope you had a very good sleep last night, because I do understand how tired you may feel right now. Okay, now we're going on to the next card. This is going to take a long time, isn't it? But I'm enjoying myself. Here we go. Letter. And Shaz, no, not me. Others can travel here. Well, there you go. That's all good. Yes, too true. And I'm just waiting for Michelle's comment to come up, because it should. Yes, there we go. I can see it in the back end, but the time difference when I see it to when it shows up for me to pop on the screen exhausted. It's been a busy 4 days, hasn't it? I understand. Now we're up to the letter. The letter is number 27. And that is the keywords of communication, email, written or spoken word. So this is a more modern, up-to-date, their use of the what's up to date. Oh, what's the word for that? It starts with a C. Not conservative. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Email. That wasn't back then in the Lenormand days, I can tell you. So letter, it does mean communication. At its core, letter is about communication, and it's fundamentally positive. We no longer live in a quill and ink world. So the meaning of letter is understandably adapted to digital options. Emails, texts, tweets, and DMs. While this card generally strives to deliver favourable comment, no clouds in here, so it doesn't matter. Expects written or spoken communication to take a turn for the worse if the cloud was in it, that's all. Yeah, it's hard to sift out the explanation from that is using the negative cards. I don't see any card as negative, but that's all right. So letter is so what we're doing with this, it is that connection of what is the main happening, is that is going to be commerce or travel, holiday, take a bit of a trip. And we're going to be having some communication happening through the day. And, as we're making a sentence, I think it is that type of thing that we are looking at, is creating what is a sentence or a plan, whatever it feels like for you. And I really enjoy the fact that here's more of that nautical stuff, the continuity of the little sea creatures. This one here under the ship, there we've got it crawling over, part of the letter, crawling over the envelope or whatever. And now we're heading into looking at the crossroads. So there's certainly that communication that's going to be happening as we come up to what is going to be making a choice. So 22 is about that choices. I'll read it from here as well because it's decisions, route, assessment and choice. And I don't think I've got any more comments. No, good. When the crossroads appears, it's time to stop, take a deep breath and consider the decision before you. So it isn't your average, should I have the chocolate croissant or an oatmeal for breakfast, which I haven't had my breakfast yet, type of choice. It's a weighty enterprise requiring careful deliberation because there are implications and consequences, cause and effect if you head down either road, right or wrong. So here's another reference to the clouds card being the negative. Obviously, the clouds in this deck is considered to be a really negative card. So we don't have it, so I'm not going to consider that as part of what we're looking at all. So crossroads, decision, that's going to mean what we're choosing. I do feel probably it's more along the line of choices. If it's relevant, your question is mostly about your business or work or something like that, and you're needing to make some choices about what type of investment you might make. You're communicating that with maybe a financial advisor or someone like that, what choice of products you're going to sell if you're in your business, or services you're going to offer, how you're going to do it and all that. You're communicating and planning it, and by the end of today, you might possibly have that sort of a plan that's going to bring you to really deciding now which is going to be what that you're going to follow through with. And the same if it's to do with the travel and going on holidays and time away, that type of thing. It's either or. That's where in your life situation you're needing to nut into, what's the question that you are asking of the cards. As you woke up this morning, what was the first question on your mind? What were you thinking of? And bring it into the context of this could be the answer that you're looking for in being able to take that movement towards, collaborating with someone to then making the decision that's going to be of high consequence, right? That cause and effect type of thing, all right? So that is what we've got with the 3 Lenormand cards today. Okay, now let me go say hello to Keza as I shift this above. Great to have you this morning. You may see that I've got 2 different sets of cards this morning for those who have come in late. And I'm just going to bring the cover over of the Siren's Song is the one that I am using this morning, okay? And it is the Kipper and Lenormand deck. What we're looking at now, because I decided to do the 2 rows, one of the Lenormand, which we've just done, is the basis of what we were looking at in our day, and the kipper above is going to support that from the kipper deck. Okay, so now that we've got that there, I did the good morning, Kez, didn't I? And we've got Perry Elaine, who is saying, greetings, any messages for me, any new job coming soon? So in context of that question, this is a general card spread reading that I do. I don't do the individuals, but I'm happy to, because it's Sunday and it's the 1st of December and I have time. I hope you have time. In context of these 6 cards to you, Perry, I'd say if you feel your question is there a new job coming soon, that I just read as the ship, the letter and the crossroads, I'll just go back to that quickly as the basis and still continue watching as I explain the kipper as well. So that with that new job coming soon, there is movement and communication around that and a choice of what you might need to be thinking about as you move into deciding, yes, I'll take this job or that job. Depends if you've got 1 or 2 on offer, or you see 1 or 2 that's going to be of interest to you as you apply for various jobs, because they don't land in our lap all too often. You might have that lucky happen chance. What you're wanting, put that intention into it. Okay? Now, Shaz, my first thoughts were those birds are back, chasing them off. That's what you're doing, protecting your home base. Well, we've got the house here in the kipper deck. So for you, the ship might be that movement you're making as you go out and clap at the birds and communicate with them with the oi, nick off type of thing, and deciding what else you might do with the jolly birds. I understand. And that's how practical that the meanings of these cards can be. It can be as definite as that type of action and decision that you're making. Now, we're at the kipper decks. House. Remember, this is going to be, there's the subject, the, how did I do? I've just got to remind, I'm just turning the page to that 3 card little layout to show those who've been late, who are popping in late. So there we go. It's the subject, the verb, the object again. So we're looking at what happens, what supports it, and then an outcome, basically. That's sort of what we're looking at with it. Okay? Oops, I don't want to cover the number. So with this, house in the kipper is card 20, and I actually don't know the meaning of the kipper cards very well at all, so hence again why needing to support myself with the guidebook. Keywords for the house are house, pretty obvious, home, residence, building, roots, birthplace, foundation, structure, stability and grounding. Very similar in effect to what the house card in the Lenormand would give us as well. House can be a significant building such as where the querent, you, resides or works. It can be the qualities which this building affords. Stability, protection and security. Or house might symbolise that warm and grounding sentiment of belonging. It can also speak to you, your ancestral roots, domesticity, hearth and home. They're older words. On occasion, depending on the context, house represents all that is unwaveringly constant, safe and structured. Okay, and the rest of that is relevant to the placement near you as the siren card in a grand tableau. So with that context, here we have what's happening is that stability that is really well grounded and based around your home for the day to day. So it's highly likely if you're not working and you're able to spend, relaxing time, it is with that nice calming effect of being at home. This almost looks like it's snow, ice or something like that with the trees in the background. I have no idea what all of that significates. That probably there is very tall trees right behind this very tall building. The chimney pot things, I presume. Yeah, it sort of looks like that. And remember, this is grounded in the oceans that we are in the sea, so it's probably waves and the ocean floor reflecting. Don't know. It's a rather interesting picture, isn't it? As far as a depiction of a house, a very grand house. So make those foundations grand and stable. Looks cool. I like it. Very interesting. In Australia, I don't know that we get too many of that height of house that's just fair home. Whether it's just a house is a house. Child as what is happening next. So I think it's probably that is. Let's have a look anyway. Card 18. I won't preempt it because I don't know these cards very well. Let's have a look. Child is child. One of the keywords is child. Baby, naivety, something new or small, and childishness. Interesting. Child is the youngest of the Kipper characters in the deck. This is a child in that child still plays with seaweed and shells and is dependent on the security of a parent's loving tentacles. So on occasion, it's still the spark in the siren's eyes. Yes, in the tentacles, yep. On occasion, it's still the spark in the siren's eye, or it's a bundle of joy already cooing in the stork's beak. So pretty much it's the potential of a child, it's the pregnancy, or it's already being cuddled. Okay, cooing in the stork's nest. If child is describing the nature of character, events, or behaviour, then like an infant, this subject is very easily distracted and can be affected positively or negatively by surrounding energies. So we do look at the cards that are either side of this child, and the child's playmates well behaved or very naughty. Very stable. What this is following through with is being able to have that stability that creates new beings, new ideas, new energies moving through that do need to be nurtured. That's how I would see this continuity in this sentence. Okay, so we may be prone to a bit of childishness and tantrums, but it's still being governed and supported and connected to the home base, the family connection, I feel, with the house. It's the foundations. It's what we're training that child to be guided toward, I suppose, not to be, because the child will be who they're going to be as they grow up, regardless of other influences. There is still that stamp of their own personality, their own character, and all the rest of it that's deemed, it's each and every one of us has our own destiny because of who we are with what we have within us, isn't it? Now here we have is the military card as our outcome. That's interesting. It almost sounds very staid and formal. What it is, interesting. It is actually interesting. The keywords are brother, friend, authority, professional and uniform, blockages, constraints, duty, warning, and discipline. So when sea life turns lazy, lawless, wild, and weird, then it's time for military to ride in on his trusty seahorse and restore order. Bedecked from head to fin, is he? Let's have a look. Oh no, I can't tell. Anyway, we're looking at this one. Bedecked from head to fin. Now I've lost my place. In the shiny regalia of his station, he's a striking figure who's visibly at ease in a position of authority. Make no mistake, the sirens don't like to be told to stop shipwrecking, but sometimes rules and regulations are necessary for the highest good. And this is the card to enforce it. Very interesting that it follows on from the child, isn't it? So there is going to be that is able to organise, stabilise and guide that temperamental child. I think that's what it feels like. As a person, military will be involved with the querent, with you, in some official capacity. So this is a professional who is in service and suits up in a uniform. While striving for precision, military maintains a strict regime of physical and mental discipline. There's a focused, no-nonsense and abrupt quality to these roles, which include emergency services, armed services and medic personnel. Could even be an executive chef. I need hands, people. Or your trainer at the gym. 5 more repetitions, schnell. That type of thing. Accordingly, this card is well suited as a harbinger of some much needed giddy up in your life, querent's life. If you want to see what's holding back the querent, find this card in the spread. So what's holding you back is childishnesses, tantrums and stuff that can be like that, I feel. Should military stand at attention between the siren and a storyline, then look for a narrative that reveals self-imposed limitations and blockages in your path. This card does not suffer fools or foolishness gladly. So it also warns that if this advice isn't given the appropriate respect and action, given the appropriate respect and attention, like now, then the querent will be the author of their own misfortune. And you really don't want this card standing behind the sirens, shouting, "I told you so." It's best to channel the authoritative and orderly nature of military, who wants to either put a stop to something or rouse a more game-on approach. Need more details? Follow the tip of his sword to the card that is below or on the diagonal. So this is referencing that Granta blow. We'll show what needs to be stopped or given more mindful attention. It is a very interesting card, isn't it? And the completion of the sentence with the outcome. So we do feel that stability and steadfastness and groundedness of the home space, that house, with the child, the people within it. Be wary of that childishness, but it could be something just new developing with that steady base and foundation being for anything that you're wanting to do today, and that security from family guidance. Having a play, it really is bringing that sense of playfulness as well. It's not just being naive and childish, it's having that wonderful explorative aspect of children's adventures in your day-to-day. But of course there is going to be that guidance from that military aspect, from the adults, that's going to bring back to your mind, if you are an adult, that, oh yeah, look, I better behave myself. I mean, I am a grown-up, and hold some sense of control over it, or guidance, in the more, yes, there are some rules you do need to be following. So in that sense, I feel that we've got a very nice sentence of security, being able to play as we want to, but within the rules. Okay, so hopefully that's going to mean something to us as well. Now I'm going to center this and zoom it back down to see all 6 cards. So I'm not sure how that's going to go with the Instagram viewers, because the angle of the card certainly is, the angle of how they do square visuals is not always the best for these live streams, unfortunately, because the way I've got the layout. Now, as we're looking at these, I'm just checking the comments. There's no more new comments, so that's fine. So with this, with the ship and the house, there's certainly the movement happening, as far as a complete sentence and what we've got in our day to combine the Lenormand with the Kipper. What we've got is that movement and being able to have some flexibility as our home base. There's still that steady sense of security in the fact, I feel that any of this movement, whatever we're doing, whether it's the holiday or the business work at home type people that just can't put the work away, it really is that sense of good, solid, seaworthy ship is going to take us anywhere, and it's got that good basis of having that ability to be a foundation of whatever you're traveling toward, whatever you're moving toward is going to be with that good grounded aspect of, probably in this respect, a good plan, because what we're doing is communicating in a really nice and playful way. We're going to bring that lightness of how we're playfulness, lightness, exploration, being able to ask questions. You know how kids ask questions non-stop sometimes. Bring it into that realm of, in this communication, being able to ask awkward questions, funny questions, in whatever way that you're needing to communicate, of self, even if you've got plans to grow your business and you can't leave it alone for a day. Just make it light, playful, and really enjoyable. If it's just to have time off because it is a Sunday and it's the 1st of December, take that time to write letters, just do little stories or anything that's going to bring you together with those who are of like mind, or willing to play with you as a game as well. It could be even playing games online as far as communication goes, because some of those, Twitch is one that's coming to mind. There's lots of live streaming games. I think every platform has them. YouTube has games online. Facebook has games online. Go to anywhere and you can play together. And that is within the rules. So we've got a good complete picture of then making the choices. It could be just which way am I going to communicate, which way am I going to go with a choice of playing a game, but there are rules to follow, that type of thing of staying within what is allowable in your realm. Probably even that is going to be limiting the time that you spend at a computer, and go outside and play. That type of thing. I can remember Mum telling me that many times, because I'd read lots and lots. My childhood was before computer games. So I would read lots and lots. So I would go into all sorts of other worlds, exploring because of story. And whatever you decide to choose to do today, make it in that lightness of adventurous exploration that a child uses. Not in childishness, but in playfulness. And speak with others, get together with others with that form of communication that might be just written for you, whether it's texting and the rest. That could be just organising. Where are we going to go out to play? Where are we going to have our lunch? Where are we going to have our dinner? Join together and have a lovely afternoon at the beach. Anything like that. These are the types, they are the lighter decisions. What we are being given today is that more of the depth of a decision that we're going to make, though. Keep that in mind, that is the light-heartedness of child, with the military above this choices. It is important choices that we're going to be faced with by the end of the day, I'm sure. So keep an open mind around that. Keep your senses open and aware of what might be those choices that you're going to need to make through the day that are the biggies. Not necessarily life-changing, but they could be. An interesting way to do a reading, I feel, and yes, it's taken, a goodly, I haven't even kept an eye on the time, actually. Somewhere there used to be a timer here that told me how long I was live. There it is. I had to move my mouse. Nearly 45 minutes. Great way to spend a Sunday morning. So there we go. And I hope Shaz has finished being able to chase those birds off. She's probably very, very occupied at the moment. It's corellas and they flock and damage. Thank you and have a wonderful day, everyone. I really enjoy those gold, silver and is it bronze type of hearts. That's lovely. I think I've got a cat that's just found its way around my sink. I'm going to have to pick things up off the floor if you heard that noise. It's wonderful to have being able to look after someone's pet while they're acclimatising to their new rental location, which didn't allow pets, unfortunately. But I'm enjoying the process of bringing a cat on board into this home space and gradually allowing her out from where she needed to be to get used to being in a different house altogether. And now I've opened the door to the rest of the house and she's exploring. And one of the things I don't like is cats on benches. So I'm going to have to, I don't know. Has anybody got hints on how you get cats to stop moving around on places you don't like them? It's been a long time since I've had a cat. Yes, they are nice, those lovely hearts. I agree. I think the colours are lovely. I think that's what you're referring to. So thank you, Keza. I'm going to leave it there instead of keeping on holding your time. I have enjoyed doing this way of the spread. It won't be every morning, I can tell you. It probably will be a Sunday morning special doing something like this. I might even make it that the siren song is the regular one. One morning I might even get to a point of doing a full grant to blow. I'll learn it up for us, I think, because it's going to be an interesting way to do a spread for everyone, probably. And there, add car shells to your walls. I took shells down yonks ago. Didn't like them on the walls, so they have since been demolished and put in a skip, I think. We didn't need them. So, car shells. Look, I really don't know. I don't know how long I'm having the cat here, so I'm not wanting to invest a great deal of money in things that are permanent. So I'm just sort of wondering, oh, there you go. It wasn't car shells, it was cat shells. Yeah, I won't be doing that. I'm not going to do structural alterations at all. So whether it's something that I find like you have, Shaz, the cat tower, I don't know. We'll be doing some investigating now because I know I heard some noise, and we'll have some fun. One of the things I do know is that Oreo the doggy definitely does find where she's hiding. So, because Oreo wants to play, Kiki doesn't. But anyway. Okay, and I have just noticed Breath Holistic Healing has joined on the Instagram. Unfortunately, I'm just finishing off. So the Instagram does not hold this video as a recorded video. Doesn't hold the live streams as a recorded video unless I've got a setting that I've got wrong. It just gives me the option to delete. Like, I can't save it. Says it does somewhere, but I've tried to find it and I can't find it. So I'm uploading it as reels, but I don't know that it'll allow me to upload a 45-minute video. Don't know. I'll try it. And that one, yeah, Shaz, you said get a cat tree. Yeah, so I'd already preempted that one, obviously. So thank you, everyone, for being here. It's been lovely to chat with you and do this extended spread. It's been an adventure. And there's my play for the day. So I almost feel like a child who's had a good game. Keep being the best you, each and every one of you. And I shall be here tomorrow morning around the 8 o'clock Adelaide, which is Australian Central Daylight Time. And we'll see what comes from the cards again tomorrow. Keep being you. Did I say that? Keep being the best you? I did. I probably did. Because that's how I like to end the day. We are all unique, and you can only be the best you to the best of your ability, can't you? I'll leave it at that and say namaste. Till tomorrow.